Hey there again, folks. Welcome back to Omen Exitio Plague. Or is it Exitio Omen Plague? I think it is Omen Exitio Plague, isn't it? I have a terrible memory. I'm very sure it's Omen Exitio Plague. It's not Exitio Omen Plague. Did I say Omenio? I'm pretty sure I just said Omen, right? It's Exitio. That's the EO, not the Omenio. That's the O. Anyway, we're back to the game. And it's a couple days later, so that means that I have basically forgotten everything there is to do in this game. So we're gonna be catching up now. I remember it fairly well. I think we had the battles in the last couple episodes, or the battle in the last episode, and the setup to the battle. Oh, wait, or what's the battle in the first one? No. It's a pretty quick battle. It was in the second one, along with the guy. What's his face saying, "Hey, we got a thing I want you to do," and it wound up being the same exact thing that what's his name? Smith? What is his name? Yeah. Well, I remember Smith. I can remember things. What all stuff do we have? First aid kit, medical equipment. Okay, we are a doctor, so that's a good thing for us to have. A crappy doctor. We've only got 2 out of 8. But oh well, I guess we're gonna make it though. Hopefully, magnifying glass, flasks, Colt Derringer, and revolver. Yeah, the Colt Derringer is the one that the guy gave us. Yeah, I wish I got that hunting rifle now. Okay. Anyway, you're back at sea. Since your arrival in Zanzibar, you haven't had a moment's peace. Always being moved from place to place. Nonetheless, Helen's image is still engraved in your mind. The grief of her loss has torn you up inside. You hear her voice echoing in your head. She calls your name, requesting your aid. Jake. The horrors of your past still haven't left you yet. Not even on the other side of the world. Lost in your thoughts, you didn't notice that the vessel you're on, which is much smaller than the ship that brought you to Zanzibar and just big enough to contain your squadron, has reached the docking point of a seemingly abandoned village. You don't know what to expect yet, but the idea of dealing with the disease that Captain Smith was talking about puts you on edge. You quickly disembark from the vessel and you get in line. Smith examines you, then orders to search the village. You walk around the hut slowly and watchfully, as if you expect an attack any moment, despite the village appearing completely abandoned. Yeah, I would say that if it didn't look abandoned and people walking around, you wouldn't expect an attack, You examine some dwellings and it feels like you're in a horror story. You are, I think. From like the intro screen, and it sounds like this is something of a horror game. So it's why I'm playing it in Halloween, in October anyway. Some beds are still warm, and there's still food and water on the table, and abandoned wooden toys and utensils give the impression of recent life. Looks like the people suddenly vanished, disappeared in the blink of an eye. Beds are still warm. That is alarming. Then you hear something. A sizzle in the air and an unidentifiable smell, mixed with the one of extinguished embers. You look to see smoke coming from behind the hut. Your heart jumps up into your throat. Maybe someone is still around here. You move closer, quickly. You can't stand the anguish this spooky village gives you any longer. You go around the hut, and right in front of you, there's the answer to all your questions. The stink is unbearable and forces you to cover your nose with your hand. Flies do their grisly dance around the carbonized corpses, flitting here and there like loose cannons. You stare at the bodies, stunned. Their flesh is covered by the remains of a bonfire. muscle exposed to the sparkling red embers, their carved up expressions swallowed by ashes. It's a pile of death, black smoke, and buzzing bugs. Behind you hear someone approaching at a quick pace. You recognize that unmistakable sound and turn to meet Captain Smith's look. He's clearly worried, although he tries to hide it from himself and the rest of the troop. All the men gaze at the bonfire while a blanket of silence falls upon you. Yeah, I would say that seeing a huge bonfire of bodies would be something to be at least a mildly, like, bleh. So, was this like a massacre, or was this from the plague? Like, are these the are these from the people who died from the plague? We've got two in both those, right? Yeah. You move closer to the corpses to have a better look. You examine the rest of the corpses. I'm thinking this one. If we use our medicine skills, then hopefully we can figure out what happened to him. That's what I'm thinking. Yeah. Yeah! Phil Glee! We're examining dead people who died tragically. 2 experience points. Slowly moving closer, you try to examine the charred remains of the corpses. There are no visible wounds, and there is something which makes you think they must have died of disease. On some of the bodies, you can still see the remainings of blood rivulets that have streamed from the eyes. Hemorrhages. This could be the mysterious disease. Bleeding from the eyes. That's not a good sign. As far as we know, this village should have been outside the contaminated area. Yeah, there's very rarely that a big pile of burning corpses is a good sign, I guess it's a good sign. It could be a good sign that some shit's about to happen, but other than that, very rarely it's a good sign. The captain's initial hesitation betrays his concern. Smith pulls out a map from his backpack after having searched for it for a few moments. He shows it to you. He points to 3 small villages near the rebel camp. Really? Near the German border. We have to proceed carefully. There might be enemy soldiers in this area. I was thinking this was like way off. Where is Zanzibar? Let me actually look this up. Yeah, Zanzibar. Okay, I was thinking it was in Africa. It's nowhere near Germany. So I guess we completely moved to a whole different place in the world. Enemy soldiers in this area. Who would be the enemy? Was England? Excuse me. Was England and Germany at war in the 1800s? When was Napoleon around? That was like 1860s, wasn't it? No. 17. Maybe Napoleon was around in the 18. I used to be good at history. Yeah, I really did used to be good at it, but I can't recall who Britain would be at war with. It could be Germany. I guess if I just click, it might tell me. You're deciding which village to explore first when a noise emanating from a hut startles you, making you turn instantly with your rifles ready to shoot. Walking slowly with a terrified expression, a man moves closer with his hands up in the air. Stop, I am friend. My name is, but sorry, I help. And the way they talk. Okay, let me pull up a map of the world, okay? I'm curious. Okay. Map of the world. Again, I used to be good at geography too. This one is not very zoomed in. Yeah, let's look at Germany. What are we? Of course, the one thing to take into consideration, Germany might have had more land back then too. You know, because Britain used to be like all over the place. There are parts of like Africa that were under the British flag. So I guess that's one thing that this could be. Yeah, that might be something taken into account because Netherlands, Belgium, France, Switzerland, Liechtenstein, Austria, Czechia, and Poland all border Germany. Hmm. Okay, I'm actually really curious. Map of Germany 18 no 8 say yeah 1870. Does it span all the way into Africa? I know I'm being a terrible YouTuber right now. None of these names look familiar at all. Anyway, I'm going to assume that they had territory, that Germany might have had territory in Germany. Territory in Africa. Because, I mean, the talking about the village, that seems like it would still be in Africa, It doesn't seem like a European village, with huts and stuff, I guess it could be, but that doesn't. Even in the 1800s, I would think that it would be something of a step up, of that. The man watches you with anxiety, still terrified of being riddled with your bullets. His glance moves frantically from one of you to another, then it stops on you. Smith gestures to lower the rifles and steps up, addressing Betsarai. Who did this? Betsarai moves his eyes away from you like he woke up from some kind of trance. Follow Smith gaze to the pile of charred corpses. Food. First to eat, then I help. Smith snorts annoyed. Give him something to eat. He comes with us. He could be useful. Betsarai doesn't stop smiling while Ryan gives him a food ration from his personal provisions. Smith's eyes go back to the map while he slowly moves closer to you. He passes the map to you. What do you think, Huntington? Where should we start from? Oh, crap. Gotta make a decision. It's clear Smith entirely relies on your judgment. Your role in this mission is of primary importance. Can we level up something? No, we need 10 more. The mouth. Okay. Okay, we're in Tanzania. Well, let's see where Tanzania is. Yeah, Tanzania map. Yeah, that's in Africa. So yeah, we're close to the German border. Germany must have had territory in Africa at that point. Seems really weird. I mean, though that's how things, how things were. Countries were like, hey, I declare this Ireland. I don't know. I don't know the benefits and the downsides to any of these places. So I guess I'll just go north. That's probably loud. Okay, good. That was short. You reach a village which has its borders delimited by its huts. The air is gloomy and almost solemn, and a group of people, men and women, are swaying from side to side and singing in the middle of a rural square as if bewitched. By a spell, Smith gestures for Betsarai to go and talk to them. There's a reek of death that meets your nostrils. The interpreter approaches when the men standing in a circle. They speak softly for a few moments. The man listens and nods. When Betsarai comes back, Smith asks him what is going on. A funeral. The men are gathered around a bonfire, and the whole village is covered by a thin shroud of ash. Some corpses must have been burned here too. You suppose the camp survivors you previously reached went directly to these group of huts. You can see dead bodies wrapped up in sheets being taken from a hut nearby to a bonfire. The fire is about to be lit once more. You have to prevent those bodies from being burned at all costs if you want to know more about the disease. Maybe your only chance, examining still fresh corpses before the natural process of decomposition makes it impossible to identify any distinguishing features of the disease. If Betsarai is able to speak the language, so you would think he'd be the he'd be the one to do it. He'd be like, hey, these crazy white guys from Britain, they want us to stop, the funeral. I mean, I know they're crazy, we got rituals and stuff, but they want to stop the spread of this thing. Betsarai exchanges some words with the villagers, who seem confused and shocked. They're not persuaded by the interpreter's words, or maybe they just don't understand why you want to examine the corpses. Okay. You approach the bonfire without hesitation and start to examine the bodies. The villagers make no attempts to stop you, and they seem engrossed in something. So maybe that wasn't an important decision. There's one who fearfully whispers to a fellow villager, who steps backwards for no apparent reason. You're not sure what Betsarai has told them, but he must have been very convincing. You forget these thoughts and continue the examination. There are abrasions on the bodies, but no wounds. The eyes of the corpses are bloodshot, and after taking a better look, realize that these men have probably had several hemorrhages. The abrasions must be what's left from some skin sores. We gotta keep looking. We gotta keep trying to find out. You approach one of the bodies while pulling out your magnifying glass from your backpack. Bring the magnifying glass near the corpse in an attempt to find out something more, inspecting each sore and every wound. Even the tiniest of clues could help you understand the nature of the disease. Brushing the hair away, you find something on the nape of the neck of one of the corpses. You carefully aim the magnifying glass. There's some marks really close to one another. They appear to be the result of some kind of sting. Looks like 4 stings. You can feel a swelling with your fingertip, and its peculiar, unnatural shape, precise and geometric. It is unlikely to be an insect sting. The various marks form a diamond with a circle within it. It's pretty weird. You examine another body, looking for the same signs. The magnifying glass is really useful this time too, allowing you to verify the presence of the unique marks once again. You need a magnifying glass for that? It looks pretty evident. The dead can't tell you anything else. You move away from the bonfire and signal to Betsarat, who immediately says something to the villagers. The ritual restarts as though you had never interrupted it. With the people dancing and chanting, you have taken just a few steps away when you hear the crackle of fire from behind you. The flames consume the wood and the flesh of those who now are no longer with us. Let me turn this down a little bit. Okay, so that's sound effects. Now I know that's sound effects, not the music. Okay. Respectfully stay silent to observe the ritual. Watching the bodies burning and shriveling on the bonfire, the funeral chanting is bewitching. They are singing a dirge which belongs to another world. For a moment you are enchanted and mesmerized. A shout suddenly stops the chanting. A woman emerges from a hut, screaming and trying to throw herself onto the bonfire. The villagers manage to stop her before she can reach the flames. The woman, filled with despair, is carried away and taken to a corner. Some men keep an eye on her to prevent her from attempting to reach the bonfire again. Her whimpers are uneven, interrupted by her weeping and corporal shaking. You signal to Betsarai to follow you while you approach her. She has now taken on a fetal position and is swinging back and forth. The woman keeps shaking and talking nonsense for a few seconds, but Betsarai's words seem to work. She raises her tear-stained face, stops her nonsensical muttering. She starts answering the interpreter. What's she saying? She wants to run. Escape. Why? And where? You raise an eyebrow, wondering whether Betsarai speaks the same dialect as the woman. It's clear she didn't want to run. She wanted to kill herself. Maybe the interpreter is making fun of you. Or the woman is talking nonsense again. I guess escape, throwing yourself onto a fire is a form of escape. You get back to observing the villagers' ritual. The funeral chants and dances have resumed around the bonfire, and they look as though they are under the hallucinogenic effects of a drug. Betsarai continues to keep an eye on the woman, who, meanwhile, seems to have calmed down completely. The man is talking to her, probably trying to figure out more about the situation. In a single instant, you hear a thud behind you, and when you turn, you see the interpreter pushed to the ground by the woman, who nimbly avoids you and sprints towards the bonfire. This time, the villagers are too focused on their ritual, and they notice the running figure too late as she is enveloped by the flames. The dismayed cries of the people are silenced by screaming coming from the bonfire. It's an antagonizing and inhuman wailing, in the face of which no action can be undertaken but horrified staring. Everyone watches the dark shape of the woman fading in the roaring fire, her features horribly disfigured by the bright white flames. Well, lovely. The ritual is nearly over and the lowered flames are dying. Nobody wants to get close to the ashes and human remains. Probably afraid of what's left of the suicidal woman. Your comrades are fearfully murmuring. They want to retreat. Ever heard such screams? There's a first time for everything, Huntington. Screams of pain are always dreadful. It's hard enough to hear them when it's you doing the killing, but these, they penetrate your mind and never leave. After having said that, you leave the village to head to your next destination. The antagonized screams of that woman are still echoing in your head. Betsarai, what was she saying beforehand? Fill us in. Okay, so we can go to the other ones now. I was wondering maybe I could click on the magnifying glass. So yeah, seriously, he didn't tell us what happened after the fact? Or happened before? Like, they were having a bit of a conversation, so... Well, what's she saying? Upon entering the village, you immediately feel an embracing atmosphere. Smith is relieved when he sees men and women moving peacefully among the huts. Two of them approach you. It's the shaman with his daughter. Do you speak our language? The girl smiles. She answers affirmatively and says she often deals with the British, who have decided to call her Lorraine for ease. If you need a rest, you can stay here for the night. Cool, new character. Smith looks at his troops men, and after a moment, he nods, accepting the offer. Some rest will be good for you. I don't think I can level. I think it needs to, no. I need two more. When evening falls and men have organized themselves for the night, a big bonfire is lit in the middle of the village. Obedin sings a song and pulls out a bottle of whiskey, sharing it with the others. Ryan's dinner refreshed you, and you can finally enjoy a moment of quietness. Shaman moves closer and asks Smith to follow him. He wants them to go to his hut. The captain watches the man with a grim look on his face and with the bonfire's flame reflected in his glasses lenses. Then he stands without saying a single word and follows the shaman to a hut that is bigger than the rest. You notice that Lorraine, in contrast, is moving away from the village. Let's be nosy. The girl goes deeper into the greenery. In the starlight, you see her looking for some herbs, choosing and picking some of them up from the ground, and then putting them into a straw basket. What's her speechcraft too, right? Yeah. Let's not be too creepy. It'd be weird if we just kept on following her and she were to turn around and we were like that right there, just watching her. Girl jumps up and scared, and she instinctively hides behind a tree, dropping the basket. You're embarrassed and you apologize, picking up the basket to pass it to her. I'm sorry, it's me, Jake. Lorraine relaxes, smiles, and starts to explain she's looking for some particular herbs. She needs them to prepare a concoction to protect the villagers. Her words definitely intrigue you. Is this concoction connected to the disease? I'm assuming she'll probably tell us what they're for. So let's not be like, hey, what are they for? Lorraine hesitates for a few seconds, then she seems to open up and starts talking about a mysterious disease. Excuse me. Some weeks earlier, a sick man arrived at the village, hallucinating and delusional. Believing he had been afflicted by some kind of curse, Lorraine gave him the medicine, hoping to defeat the evil that was distressing the man. Within a couple of hours, the man calmed down and the sores healed within one night. The concoction saved both his body and mind, although he remembers almost nothing about his journey before arriving in the village. Since then, the rumors of this disease have been frequently heard, although none of the villagers have become sick. Lorraine prepares the concoction for each man, woman, and child in the village day after day. It has become her role, protect the village so the disease never touches her loved ones, her familial community. That's nice, Aubrey. Why are you doing this and not your father? Is he the shaman? A shroud of sadness passes over the girl's eyes. Because he won't be shaman forever, and I'll have to take his place, and he says that time will soon come. You have realized you have touched a very sensitive topic, and you instinctively put your hand on her shoulder to comfort her. Lorraine looks at you right in the eye, as though she is attempting to locate something deep inside of you. Her pupils dilated as a result of who knows which emotions. You experience a thrill. How long has it been since a woman looked at you like that? Whoa. You realize we were going to have a moment there. You deal with diseases too, right? You nod and you can't stop staring at her. The sounds of the night gather around you. Lorraine seems closer and closer, and somehow you know it's you who has moved towards her. I was a doctor before joining the army. Lorraine hesitates for an instant, then she smiles and turns. Keeps on gathering the needed herbs for the concoction. Let me see how you prepare the concoction. Yeah. Lorraine gestures for you to follow her, bringing you to her hut. She sets a little fires in clay bowls, showing you how to prepare the concoction. I feel like it's good. This is good information to have, you know, like to see what we need. But I feel like we're getting into some sensitive territory, Like, what if the shaman were to find us, in his daughter's hut there? You watch each of her movements while she mixes what's left of the plant with some liquids, boiling it, and then filter the mixture multiple times. The concoction is ready. With the approval of Lorraine, you pour some of the concoction into a vial, storing it with great care, slipping it inside your backpack, and then you drink a spoonful. So we got a concoction. So that's good to know. If anybody gets sick, we got a cure. You leave the hut and join your comrades around the fire. You join O'Bannon's new drinking round. He already seems too drunk to understand it's time to stop. Soon enough, his whiskey gets you all fairly drunk, and you find yourself staring at the swaying heads of your comrades. The Irishman seems unstoppable, and he continues singing cheerfully just as Lorraine approaches each of you with a big clay bowl. It seems to contain the concoction she prepared and offers it to you and the squadron's members. Lost in the effects of alcohol, you all accept the offer to drink the mysterious liquid. You keep drinking to take the awful taste of the concoction you just swallowed. The world around you starts to cloud. Colors slowly blur, starting to light up more and more. Well, the shapes of the objects and of your comrades melt into weird, incomprehensible fractals. I like that this is back in the 1800s. We just took this mysterious medicine concoction thing. So let's just keep drinking. We don't know the effects of this thing. Alcohol may make you really crazy, along with the effects of it, side effects. What am I trying to say? What am I trying to think of? I've only been awake for maybe like an hour at this point. A little bit over an hour. So I'm still a little groggy, but what am I trying to think of? Like medicines, some medicines have an effect on other medicines that you take. What am I trying to think of? It's not side effects. What's the other word for it? Can't think of it. But you know what I'm talking about, My mom, she, some of her medicine can do something like that. If she takes some of it together, she can get a little bit I guess a little bit lost, she's not exactly, she might not know exactly what's happening too well. It can also happen with her not medicine if she doesn't eat anything, she's been like, I'm not hungry. I don't really want anything tonight. I'm like, you sure? You sure you don't need anything tonight? And she's like, yeah, I'm sure. And then she takes her night medicine and she's like, who else is here? And I'm like, it's just me. There's only two people who live here, me and you. There's nobody else here, That's a disturbing thing to have happen. But yeah, stuff like that. I still can't think of the word. What am I trying to think of? Where they react. Interactions, drug interactions. Yes, that's the word. Not as awesome a word as I was thinking. Interactions. You don't know whether it's O'Bannon's whiskey or Lorraine's pungent mixture, but at some point you don't know whether you're awake or already dreaming. Lorraine walks up to you with her light steps. Jake, come with me. I want to show you one more thing about our medicine. Lorraine takes her hand softly. You feel a thrill. It'd be rude not to follow her. Although I feel like us being drunk is not going to help our decision making. But I mean, I'm not drunk, so as long as the game interface allows me, I can help keep us on the right track. While you follow her, Lorraine's shoulders seem to stiffen as she walks. Her steps become less steady. She turns to look at you. You feel her tension. You seem unsettled. Is something bothering you? Lorraine moves the pestle. She seems uncertain, like she doesn't know what she wants to show you anymore. Maybe she just made up an excuse to take you inside her hut. Jake, there are moments I am really terrified. If it wasn't for our medicine, I wouldn't know what to do. The village relies on me, and I don't. I'm not sure I can fight against this evil. Instinctively, instinctively, you feel the desire to drive her fear away, and without thought, you close your arms around her, bringing her closer to you. After a few seconds of embarrassment, Lorraine returns the hug. How many months have passed since you have been so close to a woman? Okay. Girl brings you to the foot of her bed. She slowly starts to undress, letting her clothes fall to the ground. This is moving rather quickly. Hopefully, the shaman don't walk in, because this. I feel like this could be bad relations with the with them. Her face disappears for an instant, hidden behind the poor fabric of her dress. But when it reappears from beneath her garments, it almost seems that Lorraine has Helen's face. You see, if we were to walk out now, I feel we would be rude. Like the poor girl, she'd be like, I showed this guy my naked body, and he went running out of the hut. She'd be like, I'm a monster. So I feel like we'd be really rude if we leave now. Is there an in between option? Like, I like what I see, but I am choosing not that this might not be a good moment for this. Is there an in between? That would be horrible. For being like, I'm a monster. Okay, for the interest of the Let's Play, I think I'm gonna go stay with her. It'll make the Let's Play a little bit more spicy. It was a moment, a fleeting instant, maybe brought on by alcohol and tiredness. Yet, you definitely don't want to overthink it. You wipe those thoughts away and that image from your head, focusing on the young woman in front of you. Also, crap! Now I'm regretting it. He keeps saying, okay, he does say woman though, so it should be good. I'm though. Even back then, I don't think they brought IDs. Yeah, show me your ID. Hell, you are over 18, correct? Although back then, I don't think they cared so much, about such things. Lorraine touches you lightly, helping you to undress. You're clumsy, nervous, and you act like you've never done it before. Like this was your first time once again. You feel like a young novice who, after earning a little hoard, wastes all his money in a brothel, shaking with fear and excitement about his first experience. Lovely. There's some butt. Lorraine smiles and she closes her eyes, moving her lips to yours. Your tongue slither one against the other. They seem to imitate the convulsion and delirious movements of a ritual dance. They brush and dart, then they slip away, and then they meet again. I'm pretty sure that's YouTube safe. Not YouTube friendly, but YouTube safe. Your shapes cast on the walls of the hut enlarge and engulf each other. Your hands don't caress, don't brush gently, but they violently push on each other's skin, and they tangle fingers that searches and chases. You roll around on the bed like animals that fight over supremacy, and you eventually find yourselves your moaning heightened with which resulting in the fleeting peak of that night. Okay. How do they? This is something I've always wondered. How can you secret? Like if you're gonna be a bit loud, how do you do that discreetly? Way back when, you know, when the buildings are not as structurally sound and soundproof as they might be nowadays. Not that buildings are really that soundproof, like I can hear my neighbors, some. I mean, not that, but I can just hear them, talking sometimes, and the toilet flushing, stuff like that. But if it's like leaves and it's not a full door, stuff like that, you would think anybody walking, just walking by, be like, okay, something's happening in there. Or maybe they just didn't care that much, they're like, hey, people got to do what they do. You spent the night with Lorraine, but the only thing that welcomed you upon your awakening was a violent and painful headache. The shaman's daughter must have left already. You yawn and try to get yourself together before leaving the hut to join your comrades, who are already having breakfast. Ryan shoots you a knowing glance, sneering loudly. You partied last night. You see the bottles of whiskey scattered on the ground and smile to the cook, kicking one of the empty alcoholic vessels from last night. I can see you enjoyed yourselves too. If you prefer, we can switch next time. I never want you to tire too much. Move closer and give him a friendly jab. Sitting behind him, starting to chat with the other soldiers. You're tugging around while you eat some delicious bacon prepared by the Italian when Smith approaches. It's time to go. The men get ready and the captain talks to you. Did you find out anything about the disease? Lorraine gave me a concoction which may hinder the effects of the disease or even heal an infected person, but it needs to be tested to make sure it works. Some good news finally. Managed to talk with the shaman and he told me some men in the tunics have crossed the borders. Everyone in nearby villages is talking about it. They may be involved with the disease. We need to be careful. Okay. I was expecting, like the shaman to show and be like, whoa, you slept with my daughter, really? We bring you into the village and you sleep with my daughter? How dare you? Or either be like, hey, what's up, son? How you doing? You better get any names for the grandkids? One of the others, be like, whoa. Both those, no. Okay. So yeah, I was expecting some consequences, Games and consequences. When does that ever happen? But anyway, that's going to be at the end of this one. I do sincerely hope you guys are enjoying the series. I'm enjoying the game. It's actually beginning to get a little bit horror-ish now. Seeing all the dead bodies in that village and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm sure it's going to get darker. So yeah. If you did enjoy, leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already. And I'll see you in the next one. Later there, folks.